Good morning, ACM. Wow, what an adventure we've had. And this is day 3 of our 5-day quarantine here. So listen, I'm at my house chilling. It is your yesterday, but now it is your today. So I'm not only in your past, but I'm also in your present. I know it's interesting. Anyways, this is kind of awkward and really strange, but I wanted to give us a time to be able to pause, do the activities, and then reconvene back together, etc. So the best way to do that was for me to create a crazy video that you all are watching me on now on YouTube. So we just got done with the live chat, now we're on YouTube. But anyways, what we're talking about in a nutshell is who are we? And we're trying to answer the question of who we are. And I know we're many different things. We are the brother, the sister, the uncle, the aunt, the dad, the mom, the friend, whatever we are. And we spent last week just some time discussing kind of what we are as ACM and what community do we fit into. And we talked about several different things. And hopefully some of you guys have those notes from last week. And if you do, pause this video right here and discuss with everyone in the house what we are as ACM. Because before we can figure out who we are independently, we must know what we're a part of right now. And I think some of the terms were we were sober, we were intelligent, we were smart. Some of us said we were sober, and we even began to discuss some of the things that we're not. So anyways, if you're struggling on trying to figure out who we are or who we are, and you were here last week with me, please take this time right now to discuss what we discussed last week in our notes. Share with one another what it is that we are. Once you pause this video, talk that over, jump back onto this video because there's more to talk about, all right? So I'm gonna assume that you've already taken the moment to do what you need to do. You've already discussed awkward taco, right? But what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to figure out who we are and what does that mean when we're looking at who we are individually. Are we the same person that we were in our addiction? Are we becoming something new? And as we're on this journey of becoming something new, how do we let go of the old things and become something brand spanking new today? That's kind of tough, and that's interesting for us to all try to figure out how we're gonna do that. And we're on this roller coaster together. And I think what makes us us is the first thing here is life is full of hard times. And how are you, right there, how are you sure that you know who you think you are? How are you sure that you know who you think you are? Because I guarantee what you think you are to other people have a whole different opinion about who you are right now. And that in itself can be rough. That in itself can be tough to understand and to grasp. And so the real question is, if we're one way in our mind, but yet other people think of us in an entirely different way, are we the same person at all times? Are we the same person at church that we are in group? Are we the same people that are sitting in our home under quarantine? Are we acting, behaving, thinking the same way when we are in group in Mill Street? Are we thinking, acting the same way when we are at group at our homes? These are all crazy questions to answer. And so are we the same, or are we multiple different people living in the same body? Oh, just beginning to think about this is giving me a headache, which is fun. And so really to answer these questions, we have to figure out 1, what we're not, and 2, what others think we are, and 3, who are we as individuals? Who is living on the inside of me? And what's beautiful about this is, if you don't know this already, excuse me, we have this confidant named Jesus that is going to show us and is showing us who we are in him, which is beautiful in itself if we're on that path of discovery. But the real question, the number one question of today is going to be, what is personal identity? What is personal identity? How do we even answer that question? What is our personal identity, and who are we as personal identity people? What does the word personal identity even mean? If we were to put it down there at the bottom, which I don't think I'm gonna have time to edit that, but if we could, we would. What is personal identity? Take a moment, any moment, to figure out what personal identity is. Once you get that together, come back here and let's chat. I'm assuming that you've chatted and you paused and now we're back together and we have some sort of understanding about what personal identity is. Maybe you just watched me sit there and act like we were waiting on you to come back to the group. I don't know. But questions about personal identity are questions about what the identity conditions of the person are. So there's going to be a handout right now about personal conditions. And so take a moment right now to work on that worksheet, talk it out, and then come back to the video. I know we're back and forth. It's like normal. Hey, come on. You have time, you're in quarantine. I'm assuming that you've done that by now, or are we still waiting on you to go do it? If we're still waiting on you to go do it, like press pause, go do it, and then come back to the video. It's right here, it's not going anywhere. So the question, to answer the question, what is personal identity, we first must come to the understanding of what conditions are conditions that make me change my thinking, my behavior, and my emotion. What are some conditions? Like some of the conditions may be, my children, if my children are harmed or hurt, or if they're negatively affected by an issue. If my wife, my girlfriend is slapped, that changes my condition, that changes my personal perspective, that changes my behavior, my emotion. Maybe for some of us, it's if I get angry, I begin to change the way I think, act, and behave. These personal conditions change who we are. And over a long period of time, I would challenge that over a long period of time, these personal conditions can definitely change who we are as individuals. And so the question is, are we the same person that is going through life's experiences, even though we have personal conditions that may be changing the way we think, act, and behave? And how do we stay anchored in who we are as people? How do we stay motivated? How are you staying motivated is the real question. And let me just tell you this story. Like, imagine me being 5 years old, and you are the same, or am I the same 5-year-old person who broke my mother's vase? Well, of course, qualitatively, I am qualitatively, meaning my personality, my physical appearance is different than me being 5 years old. But I'm numerically identical to him. What makes me the same person as that 5-year-old? What is making me the same person as a 5-year-old? Answer that question. Well, I'm taller. I hopefully I'm a little bit smarter. I'm a little bit wiser. I know how to speak. I know how to communicate. My hands are bigger. My feet are bigger. My head's bigger. All different things have changed about me and that 5-year-old that broke my mother's vase. But what makes me different than the person that would be sitting beside me if I was in group? Like, what makes you different than the person that is sitting on the couch or in the chair next to you? Like, of course, age may be different. Of course, looks may be different. But what qualities do you possess that makes you different and unique and an inspiration to those who are still out there? What makes you in this moment, right now? Like what is it? Maybe you're thinking, Reese, where are you going with this? Well, listen, we're on a roller coaster. We're just not at the theme park. So buckle your seatbelt. We're all going to be okay. But the real question, the number one question I want us to try to figure out is, we're trying to figure out who we are. But before we can even begin to chip away at that, let's talk about differences. Like, what makes you different than the person sitting beside you? Better yet, what makes you different than the person you was 6 months ago? What makes you different than the person you was yesterday? And I know it's crazy to think about, but maybe we're on this journey together, And maybe the way we're going to figure out who we are is simply recognizing who we're not anymore. I mean, I respect the NA and AA rules, and I think we all do. But maybe we're different. Maybe we're not the same drug addict that was a month ago, or 2 months ago, or 3 months ago, or last week. Like, you're not the same 5-year-old kid that broke your mom's vase. You're not the depressed, sick, and suffering person you was then. And what's making you different is the fact that one of us, all of us, every single one of us are trying to get this thing together. Like, that's what's making us different. What makes you different than the person sitting next to you? What makes you different than who you was a week or a month ago? So as we're answering that question of what makes us different, it's kind of like the end of our discussion for today. I want you all to know that we are different. And our differences are vast. I mean, some of us are smart, some of us are not so smart. Some of us are tall, some of us are short. And more importantly, some of us are fathers, some of us are mothers, some of us, have our stuff together. Some of us are still struggling. Some of us have had a using dream last night. Hey, we're all different. But we're different in the body of Christ. Christ has made us different. And the beauty of this journey that we're going to be on as we're trying to discover who we are, we're going to discover whose we are too. And I want you to be encouraged that old things are passed away, and behold, He is doing something brand new in each and every single one of us. And my prayer is that we don't get harped up and we don't get stuck over these dreams that are way too far out there, that we're not, the best dad yet, we're not the best mother yet, we're not the best son, we've done some bad things. And I don't want us to get so focused on that we lose sight of the changes that are happening right now in front of us, that we're gonna make it. And some of us are healing over 15 years or 20 years of addiction, and some of us are healing over trauma, some of us are healing over regret, some of us are healing over bad things that have happened to us, and our stories are incredible. But the good thing is our story isn't over. And just because we don't see it yet doesn't mean that it's not working out for us. So listen, to recap from today, we're on this journey of who we are, and I know that last week you had some homework, and last week you all were encouraged to do the name challenge. So hopefully you have those. If you do, you need to place those name challenges back into the orange envelope to get them back to me. Your handouts from today, we need to do them. So the reason why this video is awfully short is because I want you guys to maximize the time you have together in fellowship, and I want you guys to really, really, really discuss this stuff out. So there are 6 parts of the handout. The handout should be about 3 pages. I kind of broke it all up into what you guys need to do. Put your name at the top of them. Each person should have a paper. Write down as much information as you can. Have a great time discussing if you haven't already. And once you're done with all that, put all of this stuff back in the yellow envelope along with the group sign out paper. And I will see you all next week, hopefully in person, for our first in-person session in over a week. But listen, if you're struggling on who you are, I guarantee you're a whole lot better than what you was last week. And if we could just be a little bit better in this moment, we've changed the world. So listen, ACM, I love you all. I'm always here for you if you need anything. Have a great and marvelous Wednesday, and I will see you all soon and very soon. God bless.